Hi, everybody. Welcome to Magic Universe. This is Message from Universe 24. This is a timeless message for whenever you watch it, and it's also a part of the Pick a Message playlist, and you can see how to play with the playlist in the description below. This is a group reading. If you're interested in a private reading just for you, you can go to my website at magicuniverse.co. That's .co. Here is Message from Universe 24. So I'm seeing several different messages here that don't appear to be related. And also, I'm kind of getting the sense that these cards that came out, like even if I don't talk about it specifically in a way that relates to your situation. If you see a card and it means something personally to you, then that's the message for you, okay? Because that happens sometimes when I'm doing a reading and I talk about a bunch of stuff, and then the person that I'm reading for, they'll see the card and they'll be like, oh my gosh, this means this, this looks exactly like what's going on in my life over here. And it may not be something that I actually talk about, okay? So look out for that. Especially with the physical touch card, the first card on the second row, that might mean something to one or some of you that maybe I won't exactly tune into exactly what it means for you, but you'll know it for yourself what it means, okay? So let's start. The first three cards that came out for you, the Hermit, Judgment, and Knight of Cups, I just get the sense of like really following your inner calling, really following your heart. The Hermit talks about, being by yourself, right? Being by yourself and being in solitude and really knowing that whatever it is that you're feeling called to on the inside, even if nobody else understands it. Because I'm kind of getting the sense this like there's something that you're feeling called to do, but that maybe outside external people, external forces would have different opinions about it. But it's just something that you feel like, I think this is what I want to do. I think this is something that feels right for me. And the second card, Judgment, is about the calling, right? And so if you feel called to do something, whether it could be something minor, it doesn't have to be like a major life change. So maybe you feel called to like change your diet a little bit, or like to quit caffeine or something, right? Or to follow a certain path of study. Say you're interested in something and you're like, I kind of want to do this. Like I know there's a lot of people who secretly study tarot and they don't tell anybody else about it, right? Because they don't think other people will understand. It's kind of that kind of situation. Like you might not be studying it to become a professional tarot reader, but maybe you just want to do it as a hobby to learn something, learn a skill for yourself, or to do some self introspection, right? And so there might be like external opinions outside that maybe you just don't want to have to deal with having to explain yourself or defend yourself or anything like that. But that inner heart, that inner calling, Knight of Cups, right? Cups talks about emotions, and the Knight talks about taking action on it and really following your heart, following your passion, and just not worry about having to explain yourself to other people, or having to worry about like whatever you're feeling like doing is different from what other people generally like to do. Maybe it's not a cool thing, whatever it is that you're interested in or whatever you're being called to. It kind of goes against the grain of like mass consciousness or something like that. I kind of get a sense it's something like that. It's interesting. The color that I was seeing Message from Universe 24 vibrate at, you first showed up as a pink, and then there was a more intense red. And then when I looked at it some more, it showed that you're vibrating at red right now, but that there's like a pink that you're either moving into, or there's some kind of like movement. But right now you're vibrating at this really intense red. And I was seeing the colors pop up in the cards that I'm looking at. Like in the Judgment card, you'll see the angel. I believe this is Gabriel. The angel is wearing red, and then the phoenix that's coming out from the fire, right? Rising from the, ashes or whatever, is pink. So I was like, yeah, there's some kind of transformation that's going on in your energy, where right now you're at red and you're being called to something, and that you're going to transform into a different color, into like a more, because in the red I'm seeing it as more intense. It might not be comfortable, right? Because sometimes when a fire is too hot, it's not that comfortable. But then eventually you'll kind of like smooth out and mellow out into like a nice pink color. Okay. Yeah, I'm even seeing the pinks and reds in the Knight of Cups too. So there's something about that. Okay. In the next card, mending. Usually, the mending card talks about healing. When this card first came out, I didn't really see it that much as about healing so much, but then you do also have right underneath it the Aloha healing card, the Amara, the Menehune. So for some of you, you might be going through some kind of like a self-care, like a rejuvenation, maybe like a retreat of some sort, where you just take care of yourself, take care of your body. Like I was mentioning before, possibly changing your diet, cleaning up your diet, something like that. Going through some kind of healing process, okay? But when the mending card first came out, I was looking at that and I was like, what I'm seeing there is actually the two little fairy angel girls right there. I think fairies, yeah, two little fairy girls right there. And they're creating this banner, but they're also looking up at the sky as if they're looking up to the heavens to see what the calling is, right? Like in the Gabriel, in the judgment card, what is this calling? What am I feeling called to? And I'm creating this banner in accordance to whatever I'm feeling from the inside, or what I'm hearing from the heavens, right? So I kind of feel like there's like a co-creation of sorts, where you, the physical, the more physical realm person being, is co-creating with spirit, with your spirit in spirit form, and together you're creating this physical thing on earth, on the physical realm. And yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there. And then next card, surrendering to the journey, release control. This, I feel like, in context to what I was speaking before about following your heart, is really releasing control, meaning releasing other people's opinions, releasing how maybe the world might be calling you to something, and then your inner guidance is calling you to something else. Like, so maybe there's like, say the world calling you to something that could be about trends, right? Whatever's popular, whatever, like society has things going on there, like a certain energy that's going on, that they're really focusing on certain things that are in the news, in the media, that's one flow of energy, right? Actually, it's a whole bunch of different flows of energy, but they're more physical. They're more physical things that are really loud, okay, in the world. And then the another flow is your inner calling, which is more subtle. But if you tune into it, that's where all your feelings come from, right? And so it's like more about releasing control of allowing your feelings, allowing your inner calling to flow you where you need to go. Allowing that boat, in the surrendering to a journey card, in that picture, allowing that flow to flow you, instead of letting the outer external influences kind of maneuver your boat to say, here, how like anytime you either turn on the TV, you turn on the computer, the internet, get on your phone, and it's like there's all these advertisements, right, that are saying, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, and everybody's selling something, right? So it's about that. Like, are you going to listen to those voices that are louder and more physical, right? Or are you going to listen to the inner calling, the judgment card, the inner calling, your spiritual calling, and allowing that flow to take you where you need to go? So I'm kind of seeing that energy right there. Okay. So on the second row, the first card, physical touch, a tender touch can mean so much. So that, like I was saying before, this card might mean something in terms of like physical human to human contact. Okay, that might mean have that meaning for some of you out there. So you kind of take a look at it for yourself. What I'm seeing here is that some of you who are on your spiritual path, maybe you're going through psychic development, right? Maybe you're learning to communicate more with the spiritual realm, communicate more with your own inner guidance, with your angels, with your spirit. You may be asking for signs, okay? Physical signs like, am I talking to an empty room, or are there really angels listening to me? You know, am I talking to my grandma who's in spirit form now, or is she, you know, really not here and I'm just, you know, talking to myself, like or am I just talking to a memory of her and she's not really here? Like, there's some of you that may be going through that, and I'm kind of seeing in this picture, right, the picture is of this guy kissing the hand of this statue and turning her from statue into human form. Okay. And so I'm kind of seeing it as you're asking for a physical manifestation of a spiritual being or a spiritual something in order to give you evidence that whatever you're trying to either manifest into the physical realm as an object, a circumstance, or like maybe communication with a spirit being, that you want physical signs of it to let you know that you're not crazy, to let you know that you're on the right track, that there is an actual back and forth communication going on between you and the spirit realm. Okay. So this is just a confirmation, if that resonates with you, with some of you out there, that yes, if you are trying to contact the spiritual realm, the more you focus on it and kind of like, you know, surrender to the journey, release control of like really needing a physical, either a physical voice to talk back to you, or like you want a light to turn on, or you want some kind of physical sign to show that some spirit being is nearby. It's like, don't try to look too hard for those signs. Release, you know, surrender to allowing yourself to just know that, okay, you know, the signs will come when I relax about it, right? Or whatever thoughts that pop into my head or feelings that come to me, that's communication from the spirit realm. And just allow that to be internal for the moment. And then eventually you'll see things externally that like, oh, you know, so-and-so always shows me pennies, you know, on the ground. And then you'll start to see lots of pennies or feathers or whatever signs that make you think of those beings, right? Yeah. It could be really fun if you don't stress about it, you know, in terms of psychic development. If you don't try too hard and and just let yourself have fun, be more lighthearted about it, then you'll start to see a lot of synchronicities, a lot of, you know, quote, coincidences, which are never coincidences. The next card, Chance Dance, also talks about releasing control. This card talks about like just dancing as if no one's watching and really allowing spirit to move you. And doing that will help kind of free your limits in terms of your mind, and in terms of like really about the mind. Like, 'cause sometimes, because we're physical humans in a physical world, that we always feel like we're being watched, right? And so we try to control our movements, or to not do something that looks stupid to other people, because you don't want to embarrass yourself, or you don't want to feel shame or whatever. And this is really talking about letting all of that go, letting all of the, you know, other people's eyes and stuff like that, and just be in a space where you're hermit, you're by yourself, and you're with spirit, you're with the spirit realm. Spirit realm never laughs at you, okay? Spirit realm is always so happy that you're experiencing physical life, you know, and they get to experience physical life through you, right? And you see like babies and little children, like they're not self-conscious about the things they do. If they fall, they fall, you know, if they do something silly, they do something silly, and it's like they laugh about it. And it's kind of like being free in that way, where you're carefree and you're lighthearted and you're just like, dancing, you know, and not caring about making the perfect dance moves, but you're just dancing because you're feeling spirit move through you. And in that kind of freedom where you're allowing your spirit to move through your own body, like there's an alignment, energy alignment that happens between you and your spirit, where you and spirit become one, and you as your spirit is experiencing the physical realm through your physical body, right? And then there's that connection, right, with the physical touch card again, where now spirit is experiencing physical touch through you. And in that harmony, in that alignment, the physical realm is feels completely different. It's like it feels surreal to a point. Like I remember a memory is coming to me. Universe is wanting me to talk about it. There's this one time I went to this trail, and there's like a view of the ocean, there's trees, it's like it's all nature, right? And it was eerily quiet, as if there was nobody there. And there were, a few people there, but like it felt, that moment for like a few minutes at least, it felt strange in the sense that I was experiencing that place that I had gone to many, many, many times, but I was experiencing that place in a new way because spirit and I were combined, in my body. And me as spirit, as my spirit was like looking through my eyes at the ocean, at the hillside, at the trees and water and stuff like that. And it looked like a painting, even though it was in 3D, but it looked like a painting. And then like as I was walking and sunshine was like the rays of the sun were on me, I experienced communication from the rays of the sun. Like sunlight was talking to me. I mean, like not in words or anything like that, but there was like a vibrational communication where there was joy in the air and there was warmth and there was like a sense of like well-being, a sense of everything is so good, that kind of bliss, right? And peace and harmony, like all of that. But it was coming through in vibrational form, but it was like that sunlight was talking to me, and it was an amazing experience. And I feel like through this trans dance card and the physical touch, like together, when you let go, when you surrender, release control of what other people think, or just how things are on the physical realm, like expectations, of the physical world, and you release all of that and you allow yourself to live from the heart, and you allow yourself to live with your spirit flowing through you, that the physical life experience can be completely different, can be a completely new, surreal experience. Yeah. Wow, that's an amazing message. And I feel like tied in with that mending card, which could talk about healing, and the Amara Menehune Aloha healing card, which talks about the kind of healing that you get from relaxing, right? I feel like now that I look at it, I mean, I didn't expect the reading to go in this direction, but I'm feeling the resonance of it. That universe is really wanting you to get into this flow state, right? Where it's healing for the body, healing for the just the relaxation of the mind, to really allow spirit to take over, to really allow the alignment of you and spirit. Okay, so the last card, making peace with my today will improve my future. The picture, there's a message coming through about don't worry about time. I know a lot of times, especially as mentioned before, about like the physical realm, the physical world, the media, like there's, mass consciousness, there's a huge emphasis on rushing, rushing, rushing to get everything done, to be productive, to be, there's a time limit to how much life you can have, so you better get everything done, right? And that's like the opposite message of the Aloha healing card, which talks about relaxation, relaxation to allow yourself time to connect with your spirit, right? Same thing with the surrendering to the journey card, where everything else on this talks about the inner, talks about listening to spirit within you, going with the flow, healing, mending, right? Trans dance is like taking the time to come into your body as spirit through dance. And so the last card is really talking about like not needing to put a time limit on things and allowing yourself to see that you're an eternal spirit, and don't worry about time, don't worry about rushing to get things done. The back of the card says, it may sound odd, but the fastest way to get to a new and improved situation is to make peace with your current situation. By making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release your resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. But if you rail against the injustices of your current situation, you hold yourself in vibrational alignment with what you do not want, and you cannot then move in the direction of improvement. It defies law. So in order to get to where you want to go, by making peace with where you are, that's the fastest way for you to get there. Because the more you push against where you are right now, you're going to hold yourself in the current state that you're at right now. And the improvement can't come. Your energies cannot change. You kind of have to like let the energy flow, relax, right? As in Aloha healing, relax, release control, surrender, and let yourself be okay with where you are. And then in that way, the flow will take you. Because right now, if you're pushing against where you are, there's no flow because there's just resistance, right? You're putting on the brakes. Release the brakes, allow the flow to take you, and then you'll be able to move on towards improvement. Okay. And not letting the world's schedule be your schedule. Make your own schedule. Follow your inner light, follow your inner heart, follow your inner time frame. And I don't even want to say that because like it's not about time, but like if you move to the groove of the inner, the physical time limits and physical time frames, timeline that the world moves on, it's not going to affect you at all. It's going to be like you operate at a different frequency from it, or you operate at a different dimension from it. And universe is telling me to read from the book for the Amara, the Menehune card. Because like if you think about Hawaii, you know how they have Hawaiian time? Are you guys familiar with that? Where everything just moves slower or like at a different speed than like say if you go to New York, right? It was different energy, different pace of life. And they're talking about that, where when you're going with the flow of spirit, not necessarily that things are going to move slower for you, but you're going to move at a different speed, at a different vibration from the mass society world, where there's a certain like, because if you only go by physical realm, physical senses, that if that it only exists if you can touch it and see it, and you need evidence for everything. There's a certain pace that things happen at that level, right? But when you move with spirit and you operate with spirit, like after your trans dance and you're like united as one, that there's a whole different frequency where things can work on a more, I'll just say, magical level, where things manifest either in an instant or there's a flow that happens where if you look at it purely from a scientific point of view, they might not be able to find evidence of like, how did this happen? Like if people talk about miracles, people talk about like people who break world records, or they're just able to do things in a way where the average person from the mass consciousness would look at that and go, how did that happen? Like, how are they able to do that? It seems like a superhuman feat, right? So when you're in connection with your source, with your spirit, you can operate at that other frequency, that other dimension. And then time, physical time becomes a thing that doesn't matter, okay? There's some message like that that's coming through. That's so interesting. It's so deep, right? But so here's the Amara card from the book. Amara, represents the spirit of the tropics. She is warm, sensual, sweet, and laden with gifts for you. She eats fruits and flowers and dances and sings the songs of her ancestors. You know, that's so funny, trance dance. She is laughter and fresh flowing water and hope and warmth. She is at home in the world outside in the nature, filled with the sound of dolphins, the music of waterfalls, the song of the warm breeze. There are also many sweet aromas when she comes to you, and she wishes for you to slow down and relax and to take your time and smell the frangipanis. There is no rush when Amara comes into your world. She knows that while you feel rushed, you are not eating right, nor digesting properly, nor connecting deeply, nor sleeping well, nor feeling fully, which a lot of the world feels that way, right? You are barely noticing the beauty of nature both within and outside of you. So it is time to treat yourself to some relaxation of the Hawaiian kind when she comes to visit and embrace the aloha spirit. Aloha, it is time for a guilt-free time out for you when you will invite the energy of Hawaii and more self-nurturing into your life. It is time to discover and fade out those voices that say you must always work hard. See, I was just talking about that. And be stressed to achieve what it is you wish for. I am of a time and a place where time moves in its own way. Okay, that's exactly what I was saying, and I didn't know that they were going to say that here, but that's why universe asked me to read this. But that's exactly, you're going to move in your own way, where you are at one with the natural world and where your body and soul are entwined in unison and singing the most beautiful song. Oh, I'm so glad I'm reading this because it's saying exactly what I was saying earlier. You need the power of sunshine on your body. Please give yourself a sun bath, a natural, energetic healing of pure golden light, and feel the radiance warm your bones and fill you with joy. Oh my God. That was my story about me walking on the trail. Like there was a communication between me and sunshine. That's so cool. I didn't know this was going to say that. Okay. Divination message. Amara has come, and so it is time to begin to eat more fresh fruits, drink healthful juices and smoothies, take dance lessons, dancing again, have a tropical bath with flower petals, and bring the energy of a waterfall into your life. Kahuna massage and body work is wonderful for you when Amara makes her gentle, powerful presence felt. She also responds well to dancing. Joyful exercise, singing, and music, fresh foods, fruits, and more raw food, and you would definitely benefit from more sunshine and outdoor time. There may be relaxation and healing traditions within your ancestry to navigate. Take a vacation and journey to a soulful place. Holistic treatments will have appeal, as will natural alternatives. By taking this approach and devoting yourself to it, you can expect renewed health, which the Judgment card also talks about rebirth. Remember how I was saying like the phoenix rising from ashes? That's talking about the renewed health for some of you, okay? If some of you are working on physical health, physical body. Okay. And a positive new attitude too. Above all, it is time to connect to the power of sunshine. Jesus Christ. Right? Power of sunshine. Oh my gosh, we were talking about synchronicity and coincidences. I was talking about the power of sunshine. Okay. It is time to connect to the power of sunshine in gentle, soulful ways. Surfing and ocean swims will be most beneficial at this time. I'm so glad I read this. Anyway, yeah, so there was something else that came up. Yeah, when I read about the fresh foods and fruit part, and we were talking about some of you possibly maybe want to do a diet change or to, cut out certain things from your what you ingest, right? So there might be some kind of healing in that form. Okay, I think that's it. So that's your message from Universe 24. It kind of turned into this whole other thing that I wasn't expecting, but I love when that happens. And then like things all come together, the stories it seems like I'm rambling off somewhere else talking about other things, but then it brings it right back and everything makes sense. It's so interesting when that happens. Yeah, so that's your message from Universe 24. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and click on the thumbs up, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.